Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to today's consciousness conversation with Dr. Thomas and myself, Melissa. And we are here today to have a conversation about surrender. And if you follow me at Guidance 311 today, I actually did a daily guidance video that really was about slowing down. So, how are you, Thomas?
I need to surrender a lot. See, the topic is so perfect. I am well though. We were just chatting and I'm like I actually had to put like a hoodie type thing on. It's actually a little chilly earlier today. I know it's still 70 some degrees outside, but I guess I was used to this 80 some degree for like
That's it.
nonstop for like 10 days. So I had to put something on to get a little warmer. But now I'm upstairs in my bedroom, so now it's warmer up here than it was on the first floor. Definitely feel a difference in the two. But, you know, that's
You
how it
know,
is.
yeah, it is. It truly is. We live in central New York, and wait 5 minutes and the weather will change,
Hmm.
which is probably why I sound the way I do. So I apologize to everyone because I'm definitely got some sinus issue going on. But I wanted to bring this concept of surrender to us today because I had been bumping up against it. I was reading a book and it came up. I was watching a series and it came up, and like Spirit was just bringing me this big idea. And I felt like it would be a great topic for today because, when you're being brought something over and over again, that is where Spirit is saying, pay attention. There's something here for you. And
Hmm.
this big new moon energy that we went through, what I have felt intuitively about it is that it has shifted us. It has shifted us in our consciousness. It has shifted us in our energy. And that is going to start shifting our external. So when you're shifting your internal, when your energy is moving, when you're feeling differently about things, that is going to absolutely manifest in your environment, in your situation, in your relationships, in your work, career, whatever you've got going on. And when we are shifted and we're maybe not looking to shift, or maybe we're not knowing where we're going, it can feel very uncomfortable and downright scary sometimes. And for those of us who struggle with any kind of anxiety, it can really ramp that up in a way that when you are energetically out of balance or anxious, really all you're going to draw to you is more of that. And that's what we don't want to do. So I really thought that surrender today would be a really good topic for a conversation because it's not just an idea, it's actually a practice. And I actually did homework for us today. So,
Oh my, homework?
yeah. So I'm going to kind of go through some steps to help us with this concept. But before we get there, what I thought we could do is maybe share some stories about our journey with this concept of surrender. So when I say surrender, Thomas, what does it embody to you, or what does it make you feel?
So when you say the word surrender, when I think of the word surrender in this concept, in this realm, in this idea, imagine yourself carrying this big weight, this giant backpack, and just taking it off, dropping it onto the ground, letting someone else, something else carry it for you. And you're continuing on this journey. You're walking forward. The backpack is with you, but it's no longer that burden on your shoulder. It's no longer something you're having to drag along because you know that when you get to wherever you need to get, it's going to be there. Now, you're going to look back and be like, oh my goodness, do I have my water bottle? Do I need my water bottle right now? I need it. And you're going to panic like that. You're going to want to get the bag and put it back on to get the water bottle. Or, oh, wait, my wallet was in there. Got to get whatever it is. And you're putting this like to very simplest terms. When I surrender right now and you hear the word surrender, I'm just feeling surrender. It's like that weight is off your shoulders. There could be some uncertainty, but it's the weight is off the shoulders. There's a release, there's just this, okay, I'll surrender to whoever's going to be for my greatest and highest good. And then can you walk forward without keeping that weight on your shoulders and letting your guides, your angels, whatever's around you, letting them carry that for you and bringing you towards the direction, the solution that you are not expecting but needing, which is going to be in front of you. And I think a lot of us struggle with the whole, wait a minute, I have to take this backpack off and actually continue without it on me? How can I do that? How, wait, no, I need that survival pack. I need this. It's, I'm thinking right now, have you ever read the book Journey Home by Cryon Lee Carroll? So the Journey Home by Cryon Lee Carroll. In the one chapter, the main character, Michael Thomas, he is walking from, he guys go visit 7 houses in this journey. And before he goes on the journey, he takes what he thinks he needs, and he takes all his books from childhood that he loved reading, and he takes these pictures of his family and his memories because his parents had passed, and he didn't want to lose any of those memories. And so he's leaving, I believe it was the 2nd house, and this major storm happens in this place where there are no storms, but the storm happens, and he's walking along, and he loses the wind and the storm. He can't hold on to the satchels anymore. They're just weighing him down so much so that he has to start crawling on the ground. But he won't give up his pictures. He won't give up his memories, his books. And the books go first. And you can hear them flapping in the wind behind him, just being torn to shreds. But his satchel is just, he's laying there on the ground. The satchel with the memories and the books, his pinky is holding it onto him. He can barely get it, and then it goes. And after that happens, he's able to move a lot more freely to the 100 or less feet in front of him where he finds his cave. And now shows up and he finds his cave. And the question that was asked of him, but the angel that then appeared to him said, Michael, do you remember this picture? He goes, yes, I can picture it in my mind. Tell me what happened at that event. And he told him what happened during that. And he goes, you see, you were carrying them in the physical, but you didn't need to carry them at all. They were already inside you. What you needed is already there. If you let go of that, it's going to go with you. And you see how you were able to survive the storm because you let go of that which you were carrying you didn't need to carry. And he did. And he got there and he understood. It was already inside him. And he got to the next places. But he got completely, and I mean, just I'm giving you a very high level interpretation of this.
Right.
But he got to that point because he didn't purposely let it go, but he couldn't hold on to it any longer. And once he let go, the weight was gone, and the shelter and what he needed was now in front of him. And so, when you have these burdens, you're in these things, and you're holding on to things that are weighing you down. We're always afraid to say, "Can you help? Can you just carry this for me?" And then go forward, because that cave you're looking for in that shelter is there. It's right in front of you. You can't see it because you're being weighed down by what you're trying to carry, which you really can't carry because it's not meant for you to carry.
And that's it. It's not meant for us to carry. We are here to be in alignment with our higher self and to go in the direction that is for us with the help, with help. And we as humans get bogged down in the 3D of the striving and driving. I've got to do this. I got to make it happen. I got to make it work. Me. And we forget that our highest self is right here going, but I'm here. Just invoke me. I'm here. And so the 2 parts of this that I wanted to bring today to us was discernment and faith. And the discernment is really knowing how to trust that inner guidance system. In that book, that character, had to have the faith to let that go. And that is where we as humans can really get caught up in the how do I trust something I can't see or touch or feel with my 5 senses, when it's so much about your intuition, your highest self coming in. And that is where the faith is needed to know that we're not here alone. And, one of the things that I know for most of you who will see this, if you've been following me for a while, that's what I teach, getting in relationship with your highest self, with your team of guides, angels, and ascended masters. And so in a couple of the things that I've been brought to this week that brought us this topic, because I felt like it was needed, was that all we have to do is set that intention. All we have to do is ask. And so what I did was I just kind of put a little prayer together where all we have to do is invoke their help. So just like when you're staying in gratitude, now we're going to invoke being able to stay in surrender. So it's a practice. It's something that you can do daily. It's something you can do as needed. But basically what you want to do is you just want to invoke them to come into your energy and to help. And so literally what I did was I just sat down and very quickly I wrote, I completely surrender to my highest self, team of guides, angels, and ascended masters. This situation to be resolved for my highest good. Thank you. And so it is. And something as simple as that will let them know that, hey, she wants my help. She wants me to come in and give her the guidance. She wants me to come in and give her the way forward to help carry that burden. And I have to have the faith that they're going to do that. Now, in my own life, I can say there have been things I've had to surrender that took many years to come. So we never know the how and the when. We just don't. That is not for us to know. And so this is why it's a practice, because this surrender and allowing your team of guides, angels, and ascended masters, your highest self, to come in and help you. They're going to do what is best for you. Probably not what you're thinking, probably not even what you're wanting, because they have the big picture. They have the map, right? And so they're always going to bring to us that which is for us, but it doesn't mean we're going to know what it is. It doesn't mean we're going to know how they're going to deliver it. But we will know when it shows up that this is it. This is for us. So whether it's them bringing you that new opportunity of relationship, that new opportunity of community, that new opportunity of career, that new opportunity of financial abundance, whatever it is you've surrendered, you'll know when they're bringing to you what is for you. And again, it probably will look nothing like what you thought it would look like. And that's why it's so important for us to stay in faith that what they're bringing for us is for our highest good, and to have discernment with that voice in your head that's telling you which direction to go in. And that's where it's really important to be able to get into that meditative space, get quiet, so that you can start to have a discerning idea. You're able to discern who is coming through for you. Unfortunately, you can't have the light without the dark. And sometimes what comes through is your ego, your fear, your reptilian brain trying to keep you safe and stable and trying to keep you in a pattern that isn't going to support you, because that pattern hasn't supported you. And so that's where the discernment comes in. And so I really thought this was important to talk about today, because with all of these energy shifts and with all of things that are happening in each and every one of our lives, everybody's going through something right now, whether it's physically, whether it's emotionally, whether it's spiritually, energetically, mentally. We're all going through something. But if you're trying to go through it alone, that is where you're going to stumble. That is where you're not going to get where you need to be. And so networking, requesting their help, and surrendering to where you are and letting go of the how and the when, that is when everything is going to start falling into line, when you're really going to start feeling like, okay, I may not know how this is going to figure out or when it's going to show up, but I know that I now have help. I know that they are here with me, in partnership with me, giving me the nudges, the inspiration, and the signs that I need for the direction that I need to go in. And so I really thought these were three very key pieces for those who have struggled with this concept, because I know for myself, I struggled hugely with this concept because it worked for me back in 2005, but then in 2011, when I really needed it, I forgot about it again. So it took me until 2017 to really practice surrender in a way that really started to line things up for me. And so it's a practice. It's a practice.
It is. And something you said that I want to touch on. The big picture. The big picture. The big picture isn't drawn. The big picture is a canvas. And so the artist, believe it or not, is ourselves. So I'm saying this for other people. The artist is ourselves. And when we surrender, we say, for my highest and greatest good, this is what I want. This is what I think I need. You're putting out the intention. And it's your intention that allows the painting to be drawn, the picture to be developed, and the portion that you're at, and to get you where you want to go. You might not know where you're going. And then that allows your team, your guides, your angels, whoever you're calling on, to then bring it forth for you so you choose it. But you are ultimately the artist of the big picture. And knowing your practice, remembering and going through, if you want to call them rituals, if you want to call them practices, putting forth the right intentions, that's what you need to do in order to open it up to allow the painting to come forth as you need it to be. Many of us can surrender. Many of us can, say, "Oh, can you just?" We see this all the time. People would pray at churches or in the woods or wherever they pray. Oh, I need this. I need this. You're putting out what you want in a realm, but what you want and what you truly need and what you're truly manifesting are not always the same. But it's you that ultimately are dictating what's going to come forth in front of you. And if you surrender to that which is your highest and greatest good. You surrender to whatever's going to be the best choice for you. Surrender for what is coming forward, whatever it is. I know my situation. Surrender for whatever house or home is coming forth to me, which is going to be amazing for what I want it to be. You see how I'm surrendering that? I'm surrendering it with the whatever the house situation is going to be, whatever's best for me and Grace, for my family, where I'm at, to come forth. I've set the given. I'm saying here's the tools. Here's what I need for it, and then it can be painted. And that what it's going to look like, I do not necessarily know. I'm not the one literally drawing the lines to what the house or the housing is going to look like. But I'm saying, here's the tools you need. This is what I'm putting out there for this type of intention. And then let your team develop it upon that. It's never, it's tough because they will put forth things that you wanted, that you pre-planned, that you subconsciously planned. But many of the times, it's what you plan, what you want, what you intend is what's going to go up to what's there, to how they feel it, how you truly want it. But once we start getting to that intentions of I want $1 million and I'm not going to settle for anything less than $1 million. Well, if you get $5 million, you ain't gonna be as happy because you really wanted $1 million. Or if $1 million doesn't come, and you missed out on the $5 million because you were very adamant and focused only on one thing. You weren't open to surrendering to whatever it is in the financial gain you wanted. You were only like, I only can settle for this, instead of being, I'm looking for that which is my highest and greatest good. Whatever housing it is for my highest and greatest good, I can feel being in this house, being in this house, living in this house. I don't know what it looks like. It's whatever's going to be looking like in front of me, which is ever right for right now. Sets a stage for that picture to be drawn and to be made. Because it's not already made. There's a million futures in front of us. It's our choices, it's our intentions that determine which path is going to be chosen for us. And if we can surrender the stuff that's difficult to us, if we can put forth those intentions and let the solution be the right solution for us, instead of expecting it to be a certain thing, we can be open to such a beautiful canvas and a beautiful picture that will be then created for us. Many times we just stuck in, it's got to be this. And so we're not really surrendering it. What we're doing is, I'm keeping this backpack on, and I'm saying I'm surrendering and dropping it down. But I'm like, no, I'm not dropping it down because I really want this to happen. And so I'm going to force this. I'm going to try to force this thing what I'm carrying to go into this round, peg into a square hole. I'm going to force it there because that's what I really wanted. And you're missing out on what you could have been creating by surrendering to what is for your highest and greatest good. And using the words, what is for my highest and greatest good. And knowing that timing is not controlled by us. If we thought about it, and there really is no such thing as time, time is a human construct, a linear construct. It's going to happen when it's supposed to happen. When everything lines up, when you're truly ready for it to happen. It can be scary. It
Oh
can
my,
be like, oh my goodness, what's happening next? And I'll use myself as an example. When am I gonna? If I can't stay where I'm at, I need to be out of this place by the end of the month. Where am I going? And just the fact that not only did I lose out on places, but the random way the last one was just lost. It's like, okay, it wasn't that it was lost, but things changed. It meant a path was changed. Something different is coming forth now. It's even better. And it probably was because of the intention they put out for something better to come. And it'll be there when it's ready. And that's the way it is. That's what we all need to be ready for. And be willing to, when we surrender, to be willing to expect a solution. When we are truly ready for the solution, not when we think we're ready for the solution. And expect the solution is truly right for us, not a solution that we think has to happen. That's very challenging. How can we really surrender to what we think is best, to what we expect what society says you need to have, when if you surrender and you trust and have that faith, you'll see something that's amazing. I'm going to go with Dr. Have you ever heard of Dr. Joe Dispenza?
mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Dr. Joe Dispenza, I can't remember if I talked about this or not last week, but Dr. Joe, he often says, I remember the one meditation he does, and he said this multiple times, ask for what you need. So I'm surrendering to that which I need. And I want it to show up in a way that I know it came from nothing more than you. Like what happened has to be. There's no other way to prove that it came to me except for I'm going to call it divine intervention, except for my guides, or except I manifested it. That there's no other possible explanation for this except for my manifestation. Because then you're getting exactly what you want, but two, you're not saying it's because I did this, you're saying it's because I manifested this. And it's the only plausible reason for this happening. The one story he shares, I love it. It's about his daughter, and he asks his daughter, "What are you doing this summer?" And she goes, "I don't know. I'm manifesting a shopping spree. I want a shopping spree because I'm going to manifest a shopping spree." And when Dr. Joe does his presentation, he always tells people, "Hey, tell me when these things happen that you manifest." And so, his daughter goes, "I'm going to manifest. I want a shopping spree. No specifications, no nothing." And one day he was out doing something, and he got a phone call from his daughter. She goes, "Dad, it's here." He goes, "What?" He goes, "Oh, I'll call you back and tell you later." So they talk later, and basically what happened is she was at her favorite store with her best friend. And all of a sudden the owner of the store comes out and says, "You're this, right?" to the friend. And she goes, "Yes." She goes, "Oh my goodness. Come here, come with me." Took them aside and said, "Listen, your dad did me this huge favor. And he won't let me repay him anyway, so I got it. Here's the store credit card. Buy whatever you want. It's on me. It's my way of repaying your dad." And so her and her friend got to buy anything they wanted in the store. And so she bought things for herself and for her family, all this stuff. And she got the shopping spree she wanted. And surrendered. She put the intention out there. So I want a shopping spree. I just want to go and feel it. It's like shopping and just whatever. Let go of these specific expectations. And all of a sudden, something she never could imagine at her favorite store in the most unusual and obscure way, it came forth to her at the right time when it was ready. So yeah, and so I'm saying this right now as I'm going through. Um, how do you? How can you yourself do that? Surrender. I mean, the shopping spree is one thing. Okay, it's a thrill.
I was gonna
But
say,
can you surrender?
is there an example in your own life where you've surrendered and things have come true?
Yes, and even recent enough. But I'll say in the most recent one, part of the surrendering really came down to letting go of that which you're holding on to.
Mm-hmm.
And that happens so often, especially as humans. I'm not getting into specifics for very, very particular reason. But when we get into wanting something desperately, or we feel ready for it, a lot of times you also think about that. You say to yourself, I had this. I had the perfect house. Maybe I had the perfect, partner. Maybe I had the ideal job. Whatever it is in your life, if you are still holding on to, oh my goodness, if I only had this again, or I only had that, what you're doing is you're putting you on your back, and it's weighing you down because now suddenly you're trying to get to the special spot you want to go to, but the wind is blowing at you. You're facing all this stuff, and whatever it is you're holding on, the person, the place, the thing, the idea, whatever you lost, whatever you are being jealous of, whatever it is you're holding on to is going to pull you down more and make the path slower and make it unclear because you're not going to know where to go because you're still thinking about what you had in the past. And so in my case, I had to literally say, oh, this doesn't resonate with me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And though it's something I really wanted, let me just roll it on the ground and start crawling. I'm saying this metaphor, start crawling towards the shelter. And next thing I reached the shelter and it was like, and I'll use the example. I was like, holy cow, seriously? I mean, it was like I I let it go, and what came forth to me was completely a shock. More than I can, if I when I share, whenever I share the story, I mean, not only a shock, it's like, oh my, it was like this and this and this, and it was just the connection, the what I wanted and was looking for was always there right in front of me. Literally was in front of me. I couldn't see it because I was holding on to the past.
That's the big surprise with surrender. 9 times out of 10, what you're looking for or wanting is right there. You're blocking it because you're holding so tightly on the chaos or the woulda, coulda, shoulda, or, the past or the expectation. And so, yeah, and in my case, spirit stripped me of almost everything. And when I surrendered, I really had nothing left that I could do but surrender. And that was when all of a sudden I was getting the resource, I was getting the community, I was getting my road. And so my canvas started really filling up because I had let go of those expectations of family and society and all the things that I felt I should be doing because I wasn't following what my heart was telling me. And so sometimes surrender really plays a big role in just allowing you to be who you are meant to be. And you're afraid of it because it's so uncomfortable. So yeah, it is very hard. It is very hard, but practice it. Start small, build, because I really don't want anybody to get into the situation I got in where everything had to be stripped away, because that's really uncomfortable. But invoke your prayer, use your prayer, think about discernment, think about faith, and really let go of the how and the when, guys. You have to let go of any expectation. So
And
we
that is the
are out of
hardest part.
time. We are out of time. We did it.
We did, and it's good. And we all, and I'll say this because it's good for people to hear. We all struggle with this. Every single person, no
Hmm.
matter who they are, you, me, our own teachers, the people we work with, we all go through times where we struggle. And it's always important that if you can reach out to someone, just ask the question. Just be reminded sometimes, and that you need to hear. I mean, we'll do on we do the one circle, and just a lot of times I remember over the last summer you were and you said something to me. I was like blah blah blah. I can't remember what I was talking about because I talk a lot, and you said something like, "Oh my goodness, I've been needing someone to tell me that for the past like 3 weeks." And we just need sometimes those people to we know we know it. Just be reminded of that. And surrendering is extremely tough if you are trying to surrender in the 3D life under different rules and being pressured to stay a certain way.
Yeah.
It's so look to those people that might need to give you guidance or just email message either one of us. Hey, I just need to reminded, but what I need just need a reminder to surrender. We will send that reminder. Hey, you know, did you just let it go and let it go to the earth and just say, what is from my highest and greatest good to come forth and know that is happening and think about a time when it happened in your life and we can go from there. But we are at the 30-minute mark. We always talk it too much. I always keep on talking and talking
No, it's
and
beautiful.
talking.
So follow Thomas on TikTok. The information is in the description box. You can find all things Guidance 311 at guidance311.com. Guys, have a beautiful rest of your Thursday. Thank you for being here, Thomas, and we'll talk to you all
Thank
soon.
you. Yes. Bye.
Bye, guys.